everybody, and welcome back to the Tackling Basketball Podcast. My name is Evan.
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Micah.
And we have a pretty exciting slate for you here today. Not really. All of our usual segments, Toast and Roast.
They're all exciting.
Power Rankings, always all exciting.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Sportsbook Showdown.
Talk them into keep up the watch time, guys.
Trivia.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Trivia is here, and Jonathan and Micah will be doing a showdown, so that will be fun to see. But we will.
If Jonathan can get his first win.
Yeah, so Jonathan can get
I got
his
my first
win.
bet win last week.
There you go.
Let's go.
So, trending up here for Jonathan, but we'll see if that continues in trivia. Well, we're going to start out with our roast and toast segment. Jonathan, who are you toasting this week?
Man, it's got to be CJ Stroud, dude.
Yeah.
He's been having an incredible year, and this
Except against
was...
the Panthers.
Except against the Panthers. They're a really good team, Evan, you know? You can't expect him to be able to hold his own against the Panthers. But no, 470 yards, 71 completion percentage, and 5 touchdowns, a passer rating of 147.8, like nearly perfect passer rating against a good enough defense, but like just an incredibly impressive performance against the Buccaneers. And he's looking like a potential future Hall of Fame quarterback. At least a guy that the Texans are going to be committed to as their franchise guy for a while. And that is a massive win. He is making Panthers fans cry right now for not taking him 101. And, yeah.
What's scary for the entire league is that he's already doing this as a rookie, and he's doing this and winning games with a crap team around
That's
him.
the other thing.
He doesn't have a good wide receiver. The run game is decent. The O-line is okay. The defense isn't great. It is going to be incredibly scary, especially for the AFC South, the division that they're in, when the Texans are able to build around him and create a good team. When he doesn't have to play from behind all the time and he's able to just settle into the offense, he put on a superhero performance over this past weekend. But when he's able to just go out there and just do his normal thing, that team's going to be so dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, listen to the leading receivers this last week. Noah Brown, Dalton Schultz, Tank Dell, Nico Collins were the ones to catch touchdowns. Then John Mechie and Andrew Beck were the only others to have positive yards. Those are nobodies.
I've heard of Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz is kind of a somebody. He was
a good
top
tight end for
20
the Cowboys,
tight end for the Cowboys. Or top 25 tight end last year. Decent this year as well. But yeah, he has no team around him. They have no running game. Under 50 yards rushing, I think, this game. So nothing to distract from the passing threat. And he was still able to put up these numbers. If the Texans can draft well, then put a team around him, this is going to be insane.
And I was very concerned with him about his footwork going into the season, just because his footwork was kind of slow and he isn't necessarily great outside the pocket, and he's pretty much alleviated any of that concern. Yeah. I mean, he's shown he can get outside the pocket, he can throw, maybe not top tier outside the pocket, but still very good, very can absolutely lead his team down the stretch, and they don't have a good O-line right now.
Yeah.
So when he gets an O-line in front of him and he has more than 3 seconds to pass each and every play, mother of God, this team's going to be dangerous. So I'm pretty excited for it, especially
Me too.
I'm sure Texas fans are just amazed that they were able to go from Deshaun Watson to this. And the best part is that CJ Stroud is also a better person than Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
So
That's a bold
Without
take.
a doubt. Yeah. I'm also, slight pat on the back. I was right about him. Go back and listen to our Season 1 pods where we sort of do the draft analysis. I called him Easy 101, and he's showing up to be that. So happy to have him in a couple of Dynasty
he
leagues.
was drafted 102. Calm down.
I know, but a lot of people...
It's not like the world was down on CJ Stroud.
I listened to the pod. I said a lot more than just he's the easy 101.
I know.
Yeah.
But All right, Micah, over to you. Who you toasting this week?
I'm toasting the Minnesota Timberwolves, who after kind of a quiet, not great first week, came out this last week just on fire. Went 3-0, beating the Nuggets and the Celtics, who are pretty undoubtedly the two best teams in the league right now. Like, they are looking so good. Anthony Edwards is just so much fun to watch. Mm-hmm. Like, he might just himself start to top my NBA League Pass rankings because
he's electric.
He's so good and
boogie woogie oogie.
He's what the Blazers hope Scoot Henderson can be.
Right, like he can just do it. Like he can shoot threes. He's crazy athletic. He's making passes. Like the dude is so much fun to watch. It looks like maybe the whole Gobert Cat thing is getting figured out, and maybe can be like a good thing. Maybe, who knows? We'll see. But I mean, if they're beating these teams, like they can be a fun, exciting team going through this season. And like, I mean, they were one of the few teams to actually beat the Nuggets in the playoffs, like a game at least, like won a game. So if they can like figure all their stuff out, like, damn, they're looking real good.
Which is so crazy too. Like all of the trade talks from the offseason about how they needed to like tear it down and rebuild it again. How they needed to get rid of Cat, earn back some of that draft capital, and there's still probably arguments for some of that. Like, I still don't know how Cat and Gobert will work long term.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to trading Cat and switching up, but it not to rebuild it. Like, you got to get other pieces to fit around.
But like, this is hugely encouraging to them, almost to the point where you almost think it can work with the current roster in place. Yeah. So
it will be interesting to see down the stretch if there is any thought given to shifting Gobert to the bench and having him lead the second unit and moving Cat back to the 5 for the starting rotation. I don't think they will, but I feel like what we've seen throughout past experiences of people trying to run the Twin Towers approach is that it can get easily exposed defensively, and with how bad Gobert is offensively, he can get exposed on the other side of the ball as well.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see if the Timberwolves, like if they make playoffs, if there's any thought given to that. But if they make playoffs with him starting, they'll probably just continue to roll with it.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they changed it up unless they like went down early in the series and needed to adjust.
Yeah.
All right. My toast, as obvious as CJ Stroud was, I feel like Shaedon Sharpe is also an incredibly obvious toast. The dude has been absolutely balling for the Blazers. They've already had a couple of wins, which would not have happened unless Shaedon Sharpe was there. Like, he was the reason they won a couple of basketball games so far. He has taken an impressive leap forward. Honestly, with how he's been playing, I feel like this just makes Chauncey Billups' underutilization of him last year look even worse. Like, the fact that they just decided to not play him last year looks really stupid now. Yeah. And even at the end of last season, it was already looking dumb, but now it's even worse. Like, Shaedon is a guy, and from what we've seen so far, it's looking like the Blazers getting him at 7 in the draft a couple of years ago was an absolute steal and was absolutely worth the risk. And so far, I mean, he might wind up being kind of the franchise cornerstone that we were thinking Scoot would be. And now Shaedon's going to take that spot. Scoot may wind up playing second fiddle to him, and we'll continue to build around those two because Shaedon has been very impressive.
Especially, and like you said, like winning games after losing Anthony Simons and Scoot, and at the end of the last game, Robert Williams. Like, the fact that we're winning anything is incredible.
Yeah. The fact that we're 3-4 right now is wild.
Oh yeah, I'm ecstatic.
Playoffs?
No. I was just hoping we would not tie the Charlotte Bobcats record of worst season in NBA history.
You're already halfway there.
Yeah. Not quite. They actually have 8 wins.
Yeah.
But if Shaedon continues to play like this, building a team around him should be pretty easy. And it's also exciting to me that the best player on the Blazers isn't a point guard or shooting guard. Because to his, like...
Weird.
like it's very weird, but it also, like, just in terms of building around a team, like, you look at the most successful teams in the NBA, outside of the Warriors, no one's building around the point guard as their number one option. You look at the Bucks, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Nuggets, it's Jokic. The Suns, it's Kevin Durant. Like,
Celtics.
We have moved away from the point guard as being the focal point outside of the Warriors, but Steph is just... Steph doesn't count. He's different. So the Blazers now having their 3 be the main focal point, and the guy is very exciting to me. And I feel like he's kind of moving more in line with where the rest of the league is going as a whole. All right. Now over to the more fun portion of this anyway, the roasting time here. So Jonathan, kick us off. Who you roasting?
Man, I'm glad I snuck a peek at this PowerPoint before we started this. I wouldn't be able to compose myself. But yeah, it's got to be James Harden.
Crying James Harden.
Crying James Harden. So, first of all, the 76ers have looked absolutely electric after having gotten rid of James Harden, which is only the beginning of this roast. Like, the 76ers look like a changed organization who is now, like, hoping to compete for a ring, where they had those hopes last year, but they were somewhat unfounded. And this year, they are, like, the second best team in the East so far.
Yeah.
So, very impressive that it feels addition by subtraction, you know? And James Harden was the subtraction. But even beyond that, his introductory press conference was one for the ages. I mean, it sort of started off with him talking about how 76ers organization didn't want him to be a part of the team, which, I mean, they didn't answer all of his prayers, so I guess maybe that's a thing, but he was the one who wanted out. Then it sort of continues where he's talking about, like, oh yeah, the three big men at the Clippers now have amazing individual statistics. We all have the same goals, and I just am looking forward to, like, putting forward my best statistics. And, like, dude, this is what got you into trouble in the first place. But by far, the peak of it, obviously, I'm sure you've all seen it by now. His quote was, "I am not a system player, I am a system."
Yeah.
Which is not a good look.
No. And I will give him, he definitely was a system.
He can be.
In Houston.
And
they never
if it
won.
doesn't work. Yeah. I mean, it speaks a lot to his mindset to for him to, like, basically say they were trying to fit me into a system with an MVP caliber candidate. With an MVP, rather than saying, yeah, James Harden, you are our system. Fuck Joel Embiid. Like,
yeah,
I have news for you, Harden. You're not going to be the system here either. You should hope that you aren't the system here either.
Yeah, I mean, with how it currently stands, I feel like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard healthy. Maybe not Paul George better than Harden, but maybe. I definitely put Kawhi better than Harden. Paul George and Harden is probably a bit more of a competition. And then Westbrook is Westbrook. He is what he is at this point. He's not in the top 3 players on this team, but he's still very good. But
solid.
I mean, Jonathan and I were talking about this earlier. Like, if this winds up working out for the Clippers, obviously great trade. But at the end of the day, it's just bizarre to me that you have your 2 top players are both injury prone as hell, and Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and, like, struggle to stay on the court. Russell Westbrook is past his prime. Like, he's a great 6th man, or, like, can set the floor for you, but he's no longer the guy that is going to go out there and win you a playoff game.
Right.
And then James Harden, year after year after year, flops in the postseason. Like, and is almost always the reason his team doesn't get through.
Well,
like,
the ball just didn't get back to him. It's not his fault.
When they tried to make it so that he was just a part of the system, what they didn't understand, he is the system.
So this trade still just confuses me a little bit because to a certain extent this trade is definitely a move of this is going to be the move that helps us win the NBA Finals. But you go get a guy that is such a problem and so consistently sucks in the playoffs. It's I almost feel like going and getting just a solid veteran presence would have been a better move for the if I was the Clippers, I would have loved Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
Toby on the Clippers would have been freaking fantastic. James Harden, I'm just not sure I see how it works. And honestly, I don't think it's going to push him over the hump because I just, I don't know.
I would have said bring Chris Paul back.
Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre.
Bring JJ Redick out of retirement.
Bring back Lob City, but without any of the lob. Let's go. But yes, it is very easy to roast James Harden for. You just can't go around saying that, especially when, if LeBron said that. You're LeBron James.
Yeah, LeBron
you can say whatever the hell you want.
You build around LeBron.
If you're Giannis, sure. If you're Jokic, it might look a little weird, but still, sure. James Harden, who has never
if you're Harden 6 or 7 years ago, yeah. When you were prime Houston.
Yeah, when you were prime Houston. When you were prime Houston and you had the excuse of I have no one helping me. But when you've been on the Nets with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, and you've been on the Sixers with Joel Embiid. Yeah, sorry. You've lost any right to try and claim I'm the guy. I'm what takes franchises to finals, even though I've never been to an NBA Finals in my life.
Yeah.
And hopefully never will.
Dear God. All right, Micah, who are you crowning as your roast of the week?
Yeah, I'm roasting the Sacramento Kings. That was good. I like that. Way to go. No, I'm roasting the Kings. And, I will give them, they don't have De'Aaron Fox these last couple games. Yeah. But even losing Fox, you should not get destroyed by the Rockets twice in a row. Yeah. They went 0-3, also losing to... It was a better team. It was I don't remember who. It was a good team. But you can't lose to the Rockets twice in that fashion. If you're trying to come out here and prove that, last year wasn't a fluke. We were the 3rd seed for a reason. We got this. We got stability. We're going to be great this year. They lost to the Warriors. Yeah, thanks, Evan.
By 1.
But, if your entire system crumbles with 1 star missing time, you can't do that. You've got to be better. You've got to at least win one of those games with De'Aaron Fox out.
Yeah.
But I love the Kings. I want them to figure it out, but this is a real bad look.
Yeah. I feel like what I've seen so far this season, last year, I think one of the things that absolutely helped the Kings out was that to a certain degree, they were able to surprise teams with their sheer athleticism and shooting capabilities. And this season, teams know that's kind of their shtick, and they're just not as surprised anymore. So they're just not, they don't have that same capability to catch teams off guard. And getting De'Aaron Fox back will absolutely help with that. But at the same time, I feel like they do need to offensively evolve a little bit instead of just relying on being able to rely on catching teams, thinking that they're the underdog and that they're really not that good. Teams know that they are very capable of playing good basketball and have stepped up their game a bit. And so they can't continue to kind of take that mentality anymore.
I think they need to gain a lot of chemistry as well. They're if they can get into the kind of rhythm that we sort of have seen from the Thunder a lot last season and a little bit this year as well, of just team player distribution, involve everyone in a flowing offense, then the Kings have the athleticism and the talent to get it done. I just think that they're still trying to figure themselves out, and this last week, that's the nice way to put this last week, I think, is they're trying to figure themselves out.
Monty Austin-Fort, the general manager of the Arizona Cardinals, is a fucking scumbag. This man came out and traded away Joshua Dobbs, a man who had been the heart and soul of this crappy Cardinals team all season. The one guy every single weekend going out and trying to win that crap team football games. They first talked about benching him, which is just bananas. I don't understand it. They then trade him away to the Vikings. And this weekend, Joshua Dobbs balled out and was phenomenal and got the Vikings a win over the Falcons. And what did the Cardinals do? Oh, they got shut out. The NFL is not a place where you can be shut out. It's not the MLB who are scoring no runs on occasion. It happens. No, you need to at least score a field goal. I know the Cardinals are tanking. We all acknowledge that. They're not good. But to do this, so blatantly, get rid of somebody who the fans have wrapped their arms around and has been, the one thing providing your fans with, excitement to watch is just so disrespectful. Especially when you only had one win anyways. It's not like you were randomly 5-4 and you're like, this guy's too good, we need to get rid of him. You still sucked. So I just think, it's just such a bad look, and it's just such blatant tanking. And I get that when you're bad, you want to get a high draft pick, but I just don't have any respect for teams that blatantly get rid of good players to try and achieve the number 1 overall pick. And that is exactly what the Cardinals have done.
So I theorize that they were almost trying to win a press conference with that. Because they had insider information that a lot of us didn't, which was Kyler Murray is nearly ready. And in fact, now we know that he's going to be the starter next week. And if you had benched Joshua Dobbs at this point, if he was still a part of your team and you bench him for Kyler Murray next week, there would be some questions. But by doing what they did, where Josh Dobbs had just an okay week, and so they sort of got off a little heat, moved on, and said, we need someone else to start, until they could bench Tune for Kyler Murray this week. The only problem with that plan, if that was genuinely their plan and they weren't just idiots, is that Joshua Dobbs balled the fuck out this week and made them look like just as big of idiots, and now they're in just as much hot water as they would have been otherwise. Joshua Dobbs, 66% completion, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, great week, got the win, and Cardinals are sitting with egg on their face.
Yeah. And especially too with if it had just been any backup, I'm not sure it'd be as bad. But the fact that it's Joshua Dobbs, who has played for 8 teams in the past 3 years, is the ultimate underdog story of NFL quarterbacks. He has whatever that disease is where you literally can't grow hair on your body.
Alopecia.
There you go, alopecia. You cannot hate the guy. And so for this to happen, I think anybody who likes Joshua Dobbs now hates the Arizona Cardinals. So, yeah, the Cardinals just look stupid. And if I was a Cardinals fan, I'd be pretty pissed off, honestly. So, screw the Cardinals.
Cheers to that roast.
Cheers to the roast. All right. Now over to NFL Power Rankings. Not too much movement, I think, this week. But Micah, we will kick it over to you to start things off.
My biggest riser was the Bengals.
Yeah.
Taking them from 11-5. I think it's just time to consider this as one of the better teams in the league. The last 3 weeks, they have beat the Bills, the 49ers, and the Seahawks.
Yeah.
They had a bad start, but Burrow's looking great. The whole team is clicking, and they're just winning games. They are looking real good. I put them above the Dolphins, so that's got to it's got to mean something. I really believe in this team. But I'm really liking watching the Bengals right now. I think they're going to be really good. They, by all means, should make playoffs. I mean, they're 5-3 right now. I think they should be able to make playoffs.
Yeah, they're currently fighting for playoffs,
Yeah. And then, biggest faller, I had the Rams.
Yeah.
Because... Yeah, you can't lose 3-20 against the Packers. I don't care if you have Matt Stafford out; it's the Packers. Sorry, Evan. But like, the only game that they've won in their last 5 games is against the Cardinals, who we all have as the worst team right now. Like, and I get Matt Stafford was out last week, and that is a huge blow to them. But like, they're just playing bad football right now, and I think I had them too high the past couple weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Bengals rising. The only reason that I didn't have them rising further was because 3 teams on bye week were sitting ahead of them. And even that doesn't feel like the greatest excuse. I feel like the Bengals have a great shot to jump all 3 of those teams next week with another good performance. For me, the biggest riser, just sort of coincidentally, was the Raiders. I don't even necessarily want to talk about them. They beat the fucking Giants. It's just teams around them are plummeting. So my biggest riser that I'm willing to talk about is the Texans, who, like we said, have the most exciting young quarterback in the league, have been balling out, stealing wins that no one thought they would. Like, a lot of people had them pegged as a strong candidate for worst in the league, if not bottom 3. And they are sitting with playoff hopes, not strong, but hopes, which is incredible for this team.
Oh yeah.
So
they're probably the biggest high upside story, feel good story right now.
So I am very happy for the Texans, and they're doing super well. My biggest faller this week was the Titans, because I had them sitting too high for too long, and they just continue to lose to bad teams. They lost to the Steelers this week, who I see both of you guys have rated significantly higher than me. I still am not a big believer in the Steelers at all. And so this was a huge loss in my mind. And yeah, just bad. Evan, go.
I know you're unwilling to talk about the Raiders, but I will.
Yeah.
From an optics perspective for Mark Davis, it looks good that you went and fired the guy that has polarized the locker room, and you put out that message to players saying I'm so sorry to have hired someone that caused this much dysfunction. But this is now the second time in a row that you've hired someone that caused this problem. You fired them and hired an interim head coach that completely re-energized the team and turned things around. And for some reason, I have no doubts that you will do the same exact shit again.
Yep.
Because this
the
happened
interim
after
head coach will not get the job, which maybe he should. Maybe he'll prove he should.
But after Gruden, the guy that the Raiders brought in, I can't remember his name, and sorry to this guy, because he coached the Raiders to the playoffs. The Raiders looked dominant under him, and then they went and hired Josh McDaniels, and we all know how that shit went. But the Raiders looked very, very good over the weekend, so I had them rising.
It was Rich Bisciacci or something.
Yeah, Bisciacci.
Yeah.
And I will say it was probably a bit much that they were smoking cigars in the locker room after beating the Giants.
Yeah.
But hey, you got to take the positivity where you can get it.
I still don't think it was as bad as Patrick Beverly jumping on the table after winning a play-in game.
No, probably not.
As a fan of the Broncos, I can tell you with certainty, it wasn't about beating the Giants. It was about getting rid of Josh McDaniels.
Yes.
That's why they were smoking cigars.
100%. My biggest faller, much like Micah, it's the Rams. Half because they lost to the Packers in the fashion they did, and half because they're losing Matthew Stafford for an uncertain amount of time. And without Matthew Stafford, their offense is trash. Sorry, Brett, Rippin', but you're not good at football.
Let it rip. Let it rip.
I will say, I know a lot of people are digging the Ravens a lot right now. And none of us have them rising super high. The Ravens, to me, are still weird because they still are so inconsistent.
They've lost games they shouldn't.
Yeah, they lost games
not for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, so
they've lost 2 games.
They lost 2 games, but what's also weird to me is how dependent they are on their run game, and the running backs they have, I just don't trust. There was definitely part of me that almost put them number 2 because I personally didn't find the way the Chiefs won that game against the Dolphins all that impressive, considering they did nothing in the second half.
Yeah, they scored 21 in the first and allowed.
They scored 21 in the first, and 7 of those was because Tyreek Hill fumbled the football. So I feel like the Ravens are kind of on the bubble for me right now. On certain days they're the number 2 team in the NFL, and other days they're 5, 6, 7. So
yeah, they have the capability to win a championship if they get hot, and I think that's the big thing for me.
Absolutely,
a lot of teams don't have that much upside in their team. The Ravens do. They are likely to fumble it at one point in the postseason, but they can win it all.
Absolutely. All right. Shift over to matchup of the week. This week, the NFL slate was kind of stale. Micah tried to submit Bears versus Panthers.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the Thursday Night Football game.
And Jonathan and I almost had a stroke even thinking about that game. So,
the only redeeming factor of that game would have potentially been if it was a race for the first overall pick. But it's not because the Bears own both of those picks.
The redeeming factor is how much money we know Jeff Bezos is spending for that game.
Let's change it. It's the game of the week.
Instead of that game, we decided to go with an NBA Friday night matchup for this week of Suns versus Lakers. The main determining factor in that was that it will likely... Hopefully, it is currently projected to be the first game in which we will see the Suns' new big 3, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant play together, as Beal and Booker are supposed to be coming back for that game. It's also against the Lakers, and they have LeBron, so it's just a big matchup already of Durant versus LeBron. But this will be hopefully will be the first true test to see how the big 3 operates together. And I know it'll be early. We can't base all of our opinions off of one game, but it will definitely give us some insight into how good this big 3 is going to be. Because this Lakers team, not a top-tier team in the league, but is also no slouch. So if the big 3 struggle together in this game, that'll be very telling for us. So I'm looking forward to watching it. It'll be exciting for sure. I feel like there'll be some fireworks. This is definitely going to be a game where LeBron is going to feel like he has to put everything out there to try and come away with the dub here, because Lord knows no one else on that team is going to step the hell up unless Anthony Davis has one of his random 50-point games. So
yeah. Lakers have been just weird this season. There are times that they look phenomenal and LeBron doesn't show any signs of aging, and then they'll lose to the Kings and the Magic and but they've also won really good games against the Clippers. They nearly beat the Heat when Bam Adebayo had a 20, and 10 triple-double. They're just weird. They're not showing what they showed at the end of last season, which was a bunch of role players playing incredible. Austin Reeves has been super up and down. D'Angelo Russell has been super up and down. It's it doesn't feel like they need to find their groove. They should have already had it and found it, which is what's weird. But hopefully everyone plays this game. Everyone plays at the peak of what they can do, and this should be so exciting.
This is almost the most star talent we've seen on a single basketball court in a decade.
Yeah,
Davis, Beal, Booker, Durant, LeBron.
It's a fucking insane lineup.
Austin Reeves.
It's Austin Reeves. It's going to be insane. I'm hoping that we get to see everyone here and a couple of really fun teams to watch. I'm interested in how much LeBron will play and how much of an impact he'll have. After the Nuggets game, the team came out and said that they were going to limit LeBron to 30 minutes a night. And since then, they have had 7 games, and the least number of minutes he's played is 33. So they're clearly not holding true to that, and I hope that we get really amped LeBron playing against this exciting matchup and just super electric game. But
you think LeBron James is going to allow himself to be held to a minute timer?
certainly not in this one, yeah.
Yeah, so this should be an electric game. I'm excited.
General manager LeBron James wouldn't stand.
All right, now over to NBA power rankings. Still early in the season, so obviously a lot of bouncing around, just like we had early on with our NFL rankings. Jonathan, let's start with you. Who are your 2 biggest surprises? One at the top, one at the bottom of this scale.
Yeah, so biggest surprise at the bottom is the easiest one, the Kings. If you don't include the biggest surprise being the biggest riser in the Rockets, 3-0 this last week, an incredible performance, 2 of which obviously against the Kings. But they are looking a lot better than a lot of people thought they would. Their young rookies, or their young players are really starting to show a lot of fight and talent. So, fun team to watch. And then at the top end of this, I think we can all sort of agree, looking at it, the Timberwolves, very impressive. Again, I'm kind of just covering things we've already talked about so far in this episode, so I won't talk much longer. But just to reiterate, Rockets and Timberwolves good, and Kings bad. Go, Micah.
That was a great sum up. Thank you. I love it. Honestly, that was also going to be mostly about what I talked about. My biggest risers and fallers were my toast and roast of the week. So, I also had the Lakers dropping a ton, which felt wrong. I don't think they played bad enough to warrant dropping 12 spots, but I think I also had them too high originally. And some of these other teams that I have above them are just looking really good, surprisingly. The Magic have been playing nice. The Hawks have been playing really good, which has been a surprise. I assumed that the Pacers would kind of look this good, but they're also outperforming. Just to talk about a team that we haven't talked about yet. Let's talk about the Cavs. I had them rising.
Yeah.
I had them rising 8, mostly just because, and it was a brash decision, but it was also they finally had a game where they had all of their stars playing. They had Donovan Mitchell, Mobley, Jared Allen, and Darius Garland all together. And the first game we actually saw of that, they looked really good.
Yeah.
So, assuming they're healthy from this point on, I feel like I had to raise them up. Because, I think they're a really good team when they're healthy. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. They ate a couple of tough losses, but they're also healthy now. And so that's a huge bonus. I probably dropped them farther than I should have, but I was also in a rush because work is a pain.
Yeah.
And I was late.
Team I'd like to call out, at least for dropping, is the Grizzlies. Talent-wise, the Grizzlies should absolutely be higher than 29, but they're 1-6, and they beat the Blazers. The Blazers without Anthony Simons or Scoot Henderson, arguably their second and third best players. Yeah. So, it feels like a kind of empty victory, honestly. The Grizzlies have just looked bad.
And it was back-to-back games against Blazers.
Yeah.
You should win at least one of those.
So it's been rough for the Grizzlies, and I get it. John Morant's out, and Steven Adams is hurt, but I feel like there was kind of an expectation seeing how the Grizzlies did without Ja last year of they'll be okay.
And they got Marcus Smart.
Yeah, and they added Marcus Smart. I know they lost Steven Adams, but still with Triple J and Marcus Smart, I feel like part of me expected them to be at least 3-4 right now, or 4-3, and instead they're 1-6, and it's just not been good. So the Grizzlies are down there, and then on the flip side, gotta talk about my own team. The Blazers have looked much better than I expected them to. Mainly because, mainly as we talk about Shane Sharp, other thing is that Jeremy Grant has been much more consistent this year. Last year, I feel like that was one of the things that plagued the Blazers was that one game Jeremy would score 20 points and have, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and then the very next game he would score 6 points and do nothing off on the board and have no assists and would just disappear. And this season, each and every game he's been showing up. So that's definitely helped out a lot. But I anticipate the Blazers to kind of hover around this point the rest of the season. So going to talk about them while we can.
Also, since none of us have brought them up yet, the Spurs.
Oh, Wemby looks great.
Yeah, Wemby looks incredible.
So good.
A 38-point game as his sixth game in his career. Fifth game. Fifth game in his career was a 38-point game.
Beating the Suns twice, too.
Yeah, the Spurs were a team that a lot of us had pegged as bottom 5 finish again this year, mostly because they were so bad last year, and even the best rookie we've seen in a long time is not necessarily enough to overcome that, except maybe he is.
He really is. He's so good.
He's so talented.
Yeah. The fact that he can shoot threes and block threes without jumping. Like there was a play where Kevin Durant was going to take a shot and Wemby just started coming close to him. And he was like, I don't think I can actually shoot this.
Yeah.
Because you're so tall and your arm is so wide. And he just has a natural knack for defense. He's not a liability, which is rare for a rookie. Coming into the league.
He's only, massive air quotes, 7'4", but he has an 8-foot wingspan. Kevin Durant is one of the smartest players in the game, and he is figuring out Wemby quick enough to know, if Wemby is within 3 feet of me, he's blocking even me.
Yeah.
The rest of the league hasn't even figured that out yet. It'll take them a long time to recalibrate to Wemby, but you're seeing Wemby sort of gets beat on a drive. He'll be a foot in the paint as the ball gets kicked out to the 3-point line, and he'll get back for the block at the 3-point line.
Yeah.
He's an animal, man. It's amazing.
I think what we'll see is kind of what teams tried with the Nuggets this last season, Jonathan, where it's we'll just lock down Jokic and that will stop the Nuggets until you realize the rest of the Nuggets are also pretty good and Jokic will just pass to them. The issue for the Spurs is the rest of the team is not good.
Right.
Vessel's all right.
They're okay. But I still feel I'm not sure the Spurs will make the playoffs just because I think there will be an adjustment of if we just stop everybody else, there's nothing Wemby can do.
Right.
He can score 50 all he wants. It's not going to make them win the game. So, but we are definitely seeing if the Spurs just add 1 or 2 more guys, mother of God. And if they don't make playoffs, that means they get a lottery pick next year.
Yeah.
And with how Greg Popovich has historically done in the draft, what do you David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili.
I'm talking very recent. Those are all very impressive. But recently,
Recently, this has been the first good pick they've had.
I know.
He's made the playoffs for 20 straight years.
Yeah.
DeJounte Murray.
Yeah.
So, but the Spurs are going to be scary.
I mean, I think the most impressive thing, because we all knew that Wemby would pose somewhat of a problem on offense, and you're totally correct that teams will be able to mitigate Wemby on offense. I think what's really terrifying is what he's showing on the other end of the court. So, and teams will start to calibrate a little bit. Yeah, teams will be blocked by him less frequently.
Yeah, Wemby can't be everywhere.
But the thing is, forcing teams to recalibrate in that way still has a massive impact. Even if he's not going to continue averaging 2.5 blocks a game, the fact that players within 3 feet of him aren't allowed to shoot is huge.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that for teams like the Kings, who are so reliant on their interior offensive abilities, are going to be completely shut down by Wembanyama. You are now forcing teams to take mid-range or 3-point shots. And while teams have gotten better at that, there are also teams in this league that aren't currently well set for that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right. Well, now over to the that's not right. Now over to the most fun part of the episode here, at least for me, because I get to run it, is trivia. Recap, as we mentioned earlier, Jonathan seeking his first win. Micah sitting at 2, me sitting at 4, but I'm obviously can't add a point to my total this week. But it is time for the least known game show in America. Who's that journeyman?
All right.
So, for this, we will be going over journeymen for both the NBA and the NFL, alternating each. There are 13 total. There is one extra NBA because one had to have more. What you will be given a graphic that will have a table. The first column will have the years that they've played along with the team that they played for during that year or season. The next 5 columns will be statistics for that player. For NBA players, you will be getting season averages for points, assists, rebounds, steals, and blocks, which should help attune you to what position they roughly are, how good they were. For the NFL, every single player is a quarterback. So you will be getting season totals for passing yards, passing touchdowns, interceptions, completion percentage, and quarterback rating. Not going to be as big of a factor in determining how good they are because they're all journeymen. They're all ass. But that could potentially help you out a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's what you'll be seeing on the screen. We'll be doing it as we have done the kind of past couple ones with you guys. You just say buzz, you give me an answer. I do have clues for every single player. I will need to get confirmation from both of you that you want to use a clue before I give it to you. For some guys, I have a couple. For some, I have one because they are so fucking unknown that it was an absolute reach for me to come up with one clue. So, but before we jump in, do you guys have any other questions?
No.
All right. Let's get to our first journeyman. Started out with the Suns, went to the Hornets, then to the Blazers, then the Knicks, the Bulls, the Bucks, the Wizards, the Magic, the Cavs, the Bucks. Been all over the place.
That's awesome.
Buzz. Robin Lopez.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
Rolo, Micah on the board there with a point. All right, now over to the NFL.
Oh. Yeah, Buzz.
Yep.
Carson Wentz.
No.
Wait, what year was he? He was drafted later than 2012 anyway. I'll take a hint if Mike wants one.
Yeah.
All right. This player is tied with 7 other players for the most touchdown passes thrown in a single game at 7. That didn't help. I do have a second one in the chamber. Yeah.
Fitzmagic?
Nope.
No.
Because he played for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I was looking for that. I would take the second one.
Yeah, same.
This player has had a statue built of him.
Ronaldo.
All right, I'll add on to that clue. This player has had a statue built of him in South Philadelphia.
This should be really obvious to me.
Who was I think I know who it is. Wait, you already said Carson Wentz?
Yeah, I did.
Do you guys not have it?
I don't think I have it.
Fuck. I need to have it. But no, I don't.
Caven?
Yeah.
I can't believe it. You blasphemous mother effers. This is Big Dick Nick Foles himself.
I was trying to remember which years the Eagles had quarterbacks. That should have been obvious because that was the Super Bowl year.
All right, back over to the NBA. Micah leading 1-0. Long time with the Hawks. And then,
Buzz. Schroeder.
Damn it!
yes,
God
Dennis
damn it!
Schroeder. Don't break the laptop. Dennis Schroeder coming off of a FIBA World Cup win with Germany, leading that unit, which is absolutely wild. All right, 2-0 Micah, heading back over to the NFL. Here we go.
Buzz.
Yes.
Jimmy G.
No.
Multiple stints with the Patriots. Although, barely counts with the Patriots.
I have 2 clues in the chamber for this player, and the third clue would just be to give you guys his initials.
I'd take the first.
Yeah.
The only team this player has played for that did not cut him was the Cleveland Browns.
Ouch.
He's already been cut by the Raiders then?
No, but it's not full way into the season, so I wasn't counting that. Wouldn't be shocked, though.
Jimmy G in that game.
Yeah, I'm trying to...
I'd take another.
Yeah.
This player is sometimes referred to as Belichick's favorite backup. And then initials is the third hint. So if you guys just want his initials.
Not yet.
That clue probably should have been obvious just from the fact that he's played for the Patriots a lot.
Yeah.
He's been on the Patriots a lot. You can see here he's not played for them a lot. Fuck. I remember that game in 2021, actually. I just can't remember the person who had it.
Did he, like, play a couple days ago? Like, was he the starter?
For the Raiders?
Yeah. Because it
Yes.
wasn't Jimmy. Okay. What the hell?
Yeah, the 231 passing yards and 2 interceptions were from that game.
Who was that? I guess that's what the game is.
Do you want his initials?
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
it.
BH.
Fuck.
Oh, Buzz.
Yep.
Brett Hundley?
No. He's on the Ravens.
God damn it. There's 2 BHs?
Yep. Brett Hundley has actually not played for that many teams.
Yeah.
I thought he would be fitting into this category, but I wouldn't really define him as a journeyman, surprisingly.
Huh.
Bat Hasselback?
Oh, Buzz.
Yep.
Brian Hoyer.
Yep.
Duh.
Ryan Hoyer. All right, Jonathan on the
There it
board.
is.
2-1. Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, that one was tough. We went out of the easy realm. I was really digging deep to try and figure out clues for this guy because he has done fuck all in his career. All right, now.
He's been called Belichick's favorite backup.
Yeah.
That's
Just
awesome.
because he keeps bringing him back.
I mean, yeah, I didn't realize, like, because I knew he'd played a lot for the Patriots. I didn't realize how many different stints.
Yeah. And the best part is he was cut from them every single time.
Yeah.
All right, back over to the NBA. Michael leading 2-1. Here we go. Not as big of a journeyman as some of the other people on this list, but has played for 4 teams, which in the NBA is still a lot. Obviously won championships with the Lakers and with the Spurs.
I'll take a hint whenever he wants to.
Give me a second.
It's too old. I should have gotten Schroeder. I was like half a second behind. Like, Schroeder's my era. Schroeder's
This
my
is
NBA.
I will say, Jonathan, this is the one player on this list that is from this long ago. Everybody else,
Yeah.
like, either retired in the NBA like
Appreciate
within
you,
the
buddy.
3 years or is still playing. So,
Yeah.
I would take a hint.
I still feel like
all
I should
right.
know this
Hopefully,
one.
this one isn't too obvious, but this player's nickname begins with the phrase "big shot."
I mean, Billups is coming to mind, but it's not Billups.
It's definitely not Billups. Unless you misspelled Nuggets.
Big shot.
And the last 2 words of the nickname, you get some alliteration in there. Micah, diving deep into the archives here in the show. All right, the only other clue is this man's initials. Let me know when you guys want.
Sure.
Yeah.
RH.
It's not Rodney Hood.
It's not Rashawn Holmes.
It's not Ricola Nokic. Hokic.
Ricola.
It's not Richard Hefferson.
Oh, God. Just from the banter that I'm getting from him, I believe that Jonathan has given up at this point. So, Mikey,
I'm still fishing, but
Mikey,
if Micah wants to pass, I'm down. But until he passes, I'm fishing.
Yeah, I have no idea.
this is Big Shot Bob, Robert Ory.
Okay.
All right, Mike is still up 2-1.
My
Back
guess.
over to the NFL.
Yeah.
Buzz.
Yep.
Fitzmagic.
Yeah.
Had to throw an easy one in there.
Just been
I started
looking for
too
those
far at the top of the
Dolphins.
list. Yeah, you were looking for the Dolphins.
But yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
My man.
I really need to change that from black to some other color, don't I? Yeah, he's holds the record for playing for the most teams in NFL history because he is the definition of a journeyman. Holy hell.
Yeah.
All right. Back over to the NBA. Micah leading 3-1. Here we go.
Buzz.
Yep.
Ish Smith.
Yes. Ish
Let's go.
Smith. And had to go back to back. Fitzmagic had the most teams for the NFL. Ish Smith has played for the most NBA
Honestly,
teams in his
as
career.
soon as you said most teams in the NFL, I thought next guy was Ish Smith.
Probably could have spread him out. All right, 3-2. Jonathan climbing back into it. Back over to the NFL. Here we go. Started out his career with a decent stint with the Cardinals, then to the Lions, then to the Raiders, then to the Panthers, then to the Bears, then to the Buccaneers, then to the Browns, then to the Jets, and finished with the Eagles in 2019. I do have 2 clues for this man, with the third being his initials.
Wow, he was phenomenal for the Panthers. 2 whole yards.
2 yards and a 39.6 quarterback
The
rating.
worst part about that is 16% completion percentage. Like, it's not 2 yards because he played one down.
Yeah, he had to play at least like 7 or 8.
He had to have 6 passes, I would think.
Okay, I probably shouldn't be focusing on the math here. Okay, a lot for the
He wasn't phenomenal. We'll give him that.
box lot for the Browns.
I'll take the first hint.
Yeah.
This retired player is currently the quarterbacks coach for the Carolina Panthers.
Good for him. That didn't help much. I'll take second.
Yeah.
Starting with, most people would argue, the Buccaneers, teams began to sign him simply because they believed he was a fantastic veteran presence to coach up young quarterbacks. really had nothing to do with him actually playing on the field, but mentoring their young QBs. I just thought of a third one besides the initials, so if you guys want that, I can give it to you.
I'm ready for it.
This man... no, that's a different player. We'll just give you the initials. JM.
John McEnroe.
No.
Joe Montana?
No.
No.
He played his entire career in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. Never claimed I...
Just like we can't go prior to 2015 for basketball with Jonathan, we can't go prior to 2000 with the NFL for Micah.
Or me, apparently.
Prior than like 2018.
Giving in?
Not quite yet. I should totally know this one.
There's someone called like Minton or something.
Not him. I like the thought, but no.
Is it JM? Like a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tapping out.
I'm tapping.
All right. This is Josh McCown.
Yep, not getting that.
All right, so far we have only gotten one of the NFL players correct.
Yeah.
Just to be fair, they're all backup quarterbacks, so you have to dig pretty deep into your NFL knowledge for these guys.
Yeah, there's less movement for good players in the NFL.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Micah still leading 3-2. Back over to the NBA. Here we go. Very long stint with the Boston Celtics, and then eventually moving to the Pistons, Clippers, Grizzlies, Lakers, Heat, Rockets, and then back to the Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers, where all old players go to die.
Really, though.
And I once again have 2 clues lined up for this player, so whenever you guys want them, let me know.
2 stints for the Lakers. Went there, left, came back. But isn't currently playing.
Yep, just recently retired.
No.
How many rounds do we have left?
Including this one, 5.
Oh, yeah, I guess I should. Okay. What's this? I don't even know what position this dude's
This one is tough. This is probably the toughest NBA one that we have.
Okay.
Hint.
I feel good about that.
Do you want a hint as well?
Or let's just pass.
We're not passing. Sure, I take a hint.
This one may just be more of a cool fact than a hint. We'll see if it helps at all.
I like facts.
During the 2011 NBA lockout, this player signed with the Hapoel Jerusalem team of the Israeli Basketball Premier League and over 3 games averaged 13.7 points.
I feel like that's a huge hint, actually. I feel like I saw that headline. I just don't know who.
Like I said, I have a second clue lined up, so if you guys want that. Would you like the hint, Micah?
Yeah.
Yeah? This player was a part of the same trade package that dealt him, Tobias Harris, and Boban to the Clippers from the Pistons. Or from the Pistons to the Clippers.
Gosh.
And then I have a
This
third...
is very wrong, but I'm going to buzz anyway. Max Strus.
Nope. And then I kind of have a third clue in my mind. I'm not sure how helpful it would be to you guys that I can give it. It's not initials. If you guys would want it.
Yeah, sure.
During his stint with the Clippers, I personally would consistently get him mixed up with Patrick Beverly. like I said, it may be helpful, it may not be.
Buzz, Patrick Beverly.
Patrick Beverly.
Can't be him. It's not him.
Just start naming people, man. Like,
Holmes.
huh?
Jason Terry?
No.
Jason
on the
Kidd.
Rockets earlier.
And then I can give you guys initials if you'd like.
No. I just want us to skip.
Not doing that. How long for the Celtics? Like, okay, it's not. Could you give a position?
Point guard. Which makes the assist category that much more confusing.
Yeah.
Here,
Unless it's Dennis Schroeder.
I'll double check to confirm. I'm like 95% sure that it was point guard. Yep, point guard. Point guard would also sometimes play shooting guard, but
Yeah.
guard.
Yeah, okay.
That's all point guards, pretty much.
Yep.
I would take initials.
A, B.
Anthony Bennett.
Huh?
Anthony Bennett. Antonio Banderas.
Sadly, no.
Arvidas Bonus. Okay. What the? I feel like I know it, but it's just not.
Anthony Bitchardson.
No. Jonathan has caved. I'll give you another minute, Micah.
Oh, Avery Bradley.
Yes, there it is.
Oh man,
Avery Bradley. All right. 4-2, Micah leads with 4 more players coming up here. Back over to the NFL next. Here we go. Again, another player drafted by the Patriots, then went to the Chiefs for a long time, then Vikings, then Bills, then Cowboys, then Titans, and finished with the Lions in 2018. He's been out of the league for 5 years. Crazy, too, because unlike all the other players we've had, except for Fitzpatrick, this guy in 2008 and 2010 kind of bowled out a little bit, honestly.
Yeah.
He had a couple pretty damn good seasons mixed in there with all the rest of the garbage. And I have one main clue for this guy. I could stretch to 2 and then give you his initials. So whenever you guys would like a hint, I can give it.
I take it.
Yeah.
In 2008, this man became the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots following Tom Brady's torn ACL. He led the Patriots to 10 wins and received the franchise tag from the Patriots over the offseason.
What does the franchise tag mean?
Just means like you're supposed to become a free agent, but they can franchise tag you, which means that you're just forced to stay with that team.
And then he went to the Chiefs the next year?
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe, yeah. I think he received it and then they traded him.
All right.
Pretty sure there was concern over whether Tom Brady would be able to bounce back from an ACL injury, which it's Tom
Did he?
Brady. It's Tom Brady, so the answer is yes.
Yes, he did. I would take another.
Jonathan? This one's a little bit of a reach here. This man's last name could be synonymous with fortress.
Castle.
Yeah.
Andrew Castle. John Castle. Richard Castle. Matthew Castle.
Micah gets it.
Really?
It's Matt Castle.
Suck it.
Gets it by technicality, but he gets it.
Hey, weren't we supposed to have a cooldown on guesses?
That was never in the rules.
You also hadn't said anything yet, so I was just letting... I thought as soon as he said Castle, you would immediately go, Matt Castle.
Yeah.
But... All right. 5-2. Jonathan can tie it in these final three. Back over to the NBA. Here we go.
Oh my god.
The first player to take up the entire screen with his career history from 04 to 2022.
Buzz. Trevor Ariza?
Yes. Trevor Ariza
Fuck that dude.
holds the record for most times traded in NBA history.
Alright.
Good game.
Yep, Micah has secured the victory, but we'll see if Jonathan can make a competition out of it. We got 2 more to go here. Back over to the NFL. Here we go. Played for the Broncos. Right in your wheelhouse, Jonathan.
Played well for the Broncos.
Played well for the Vikings.
Buzz. Who got it first?
You did?
Is it Brock Osweiler?
No.
Shit. Why am I forgetting his name?
Okay, James Holzhauer. Come on.
Unbuzz for a moment.
Okay.
Buzz.
Yeah.
Case Keenum.
Yes. Case Keenum. And a couple of fun facts with Case Keenum. I gotta read them out because I found them. He played in college for 6 years, and as of 2022, still holds 9 NCAA records for the quarterback position. Wow. And following his amazing 2017 season with the Vikings, he actually was ranked 51st on the NFL Top 100 the following season, which is crazy for a journeyman quarterback.
Yeah.
I didn't realize his stint with the Vikings was only 1 year.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Last player to the NBA. Here we go.
Oh, again.
Another full screener.
Wow.
Oh.
Buzz.
Yep.
DeAndre Jordan.
No, incorrect.
No, definitely not.
Buzz. Jeff Green.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jeff Green.
Just needed to see that Sonics up there.
Yeah.
Fun facts with him. His missed year of the 2011-2012 season was actually due to a heart condition, in which made him miss the entire season. And then, of course, he is often referred to as
Uncle
Jeff.
Jeff. We love him.
So, well, congratulations, Micah. Coming away with the victory.
Thank you.
Hope you guys had some fun and learn more about some of the unsung heroes of the sports world.
Am I running it next week?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
So,
I'll play as well.
yes, I have 4. Mike now has 3. Jonathan, looking for that first win.
I want to like this segment.
I've personally learned a lot about sports through this segment, so
It's fun for that, for sure.
I'm sure the audience has a good time. Hopefully.
They probably better when I'm running it, because then the ending is
Okay.
a question.
Oh. I thought you meant you just did better. I was like,
No, definitely not that.
Micah was like, you had me in the first half. Now over to Sportsbook Showdown, our final segment of the day. We're going to kick it over to Micah for his first bet of the week.
Yeah, my first bet is on the NBA slate tomorrow, Wednesday. I've got Mavs beating the Raptors, Heat beating the Grizzlies, Pacers beating the Jazz, and Clippers beating the Nets. Putting 2 of my units on this at plus 506.
I like it. Jonathan, over to you.
Yeah, so my bet of the week, I want to go Avalanche, just because I'm not having a lot of luck anywhere else. I am on the board now, but here I'm going with Cale Makar to get 4 shots on goal at least, Nathaniel McKinnon 6 shots on goal, and the Avs to win by 2 goals. Shots on goal we are primarily a football and basketball podcast, but if you ever are interested in betting hockey, and especially player statistics, I recommend starting with shots on goal because that's a little bit more consistent than actual points. But yeah, it's not going to hit. Nothing does. Don't bet it.
Nerd. For my first bet of the week, I once again got to go with my total score alternate parlays. They're just fun. Makes me think a little bit. Yeah. I'm going Panthers, Bears over 36.5, Texans, Bengals over 42.5, and Packers, Steelers under 39.5. With Packers, Steelers, you can just take that one aside by itself and absolutely smash the under on that one.
Yeah,
because both teams' offenses suck. So
and Steelers' defense is pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel pretty good about this one this week. 2 games with high-powered offenses, and the third Packers and Steelers with some of the lowest-powered offense in the NFL.
So you're also hoping the Panthers and the Bears can do something good, which is
their defenses are worse than their offenses.
Yeah.
But their offenses are bad.
The Bears have scored 40 once this season, so
fair enough. Yeah.
All right, Micah, over to you.
Going over to football, I've got the Bengals beating the Texans, Ravens beating the Browns, Steelers beating the Packers, and Seahawks over Commanders. Put another 2 units on that at plus 310.
Like it. Jonathan.
Heading over to the NFL, I've got the Texans over the Bengals, the Commanders over the Seahawks, and the Broncos over the Bills. All 3 of these are underdogs, and all 3 of them are teams that I've had a lot of fun watching, especially these last couple of weeks. So for plus nearly 5,000 odds, I think that I have a good chance at hitting 2 of these 3.
The large plus odds mainly contributed by the Broncos.
Which will obviously hit.
I mean, honestly...
Sure, buddy.
Honestly, that one I kind of feel the best about with how the Bills
honestly
have been
same. Like, I think I felt like leaving off the Commanders from this, but I got tired of few leg parlays, even though I'm bad with many legs. So
yeah, fair enough.
All right, sticking with the NFL theme, I'm picking the Panthers, the Browns, and the Packers in an underdog moneyline parlay. The Bears are trash, and the Panthers, since they don't have the number 1 overall pick, or they don't have their first round pick, have no reason to tank. So I see them going out and playing hard against the Bears. The Browns are the Browns. They're playing the Ravens. I don't know. I feel like the Ravens are due for a shit game. So let's go. And the Browns looked really good last week.
Yeah.
And in the Packers, I don't know.
Who are they playing?
The Steelers.
Oh, yeah. I picked the Steelers over that.
That one's a...
Man, you guys just, both of your bets were just like, no, fuck your bet. I think you picked all of my opponents. That's
Love
awesome.
All right, Micah, over to you for your final bets.
Final bet, betting on the in-season tournament in the NBA, because why not? This could, anyone could win this, it seems, because what the hell is the in-season tournament? But like I said, the Timberwolves have been rolling. They've been playing really well, and they feel like a team is going to take this seriously rather than a lot of the better teams, I think, and they had really good odds. So, picking them to win the whole thing at plus 3,300, put 1 unit on it.
All right, Jonathan, over to you.
Yeah, so I also decided to go for the in-season tournament bet. I am a little bit of a homer here, but also I think that the Denver Nuggets have already beaten the next best team in their group in the Mavericks. So they have the Clippers, the Pelicans, and the Rockets left to go. I think it'll be a really easy journey to make the bracket itself. And then they just need to put together 3 games in a row. The first 2 count towards the regular season, so they're going to care. So at plus 650, I'm very happy with this one.
Cool. Well, Jonathan and Micah bet on the in-season tournament, so I decided to also bet on a trophy that doesn't fucking matter. I'm picking Shaden Sharp to win the NBA's Most Improved Player Award. As we discussed a couple episodes ago, no one knows what the criteria is for the Most Improved Player Award. But Shaden Sharp fits the bill. He's been playing really well. Has definitely emerged kind of in his sophomore season here, so I absolutely think that he should be in the running. And at plus 1,600 odds, pretty solid. So putting a unit on it.
Yeah, if he keeps up what he did last week all season, I think he by all means should.
If he does that, he wins it easily.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, well, that will do it for this week. Jonathan, take us out with a hot take.
The Denver Nuggets are breaking the record for most wins in the regular season. That's 74 or more.
It is bold.
Yeah.
It is hot. It's wrong, but it is bold and hot. So
That's what we like.